Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Orion. Its ongoing mission, to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Chaos Wolf here, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Now this will be episode 3 of my exploration series, Jack of Diamonds. And as you can see here, we've actually come into a system with an A-class star and 3 gas giants. Now I have actually been out for a fair while now, and a lot of the systems I've been coming up through recently have actually been really bad systems. They're not exactly bad systems, but they've had at most an M-class star in them, and a lot of the planets have just been dead, lifeless rocks. And after refueling here, we're actually going to go and have a look at some of the, well, we're going to go and scan all the gas giants in this system, because it's the first system I've come across with anything worth actually scanning. So that's what we're going to go and do. And what I like to do is I actually like to fly along, looking over at this navigation panel, wait until my scan has finished, and then I will select the next target and then fly off straight towards that one. So what's happening is I'm actually going through this as fast and as quickly as possible. Then what I'll do after is have a look at the map whilst I'm flying to the next target. Because you can see here, that one was a class 3 gas giant, 429k, so that's not that hot. But we have some interesting looking planets, so we're going to go have a look at them. I mean, just take a look at how amazing that planet looks. And again, you can see the atmospheric scattering around the outside. And just look at the way it's actually coloured. And look at this, we actually found another gas giant. But this is the last one here in the system. And this one actually has water-based life. But what it is, it's pretty much just algae which gets their energy from the radiation in the atmosphere, and this is that planet. Just look at it. It's a gas giant similar to the previous one, but it just looks so different. It's one of the things I really like about this game is the sheer variation on all the planets. It's almost like almost infinite possibilities. And what's this? I'll give you 3 guesses. Well, considering the fact that in episode 1 and episode 2 I came across an Earth-like world, are we really surprised that I wouldn't be coming across another Earth-like for episode 3? Yep, this is Planet Ben. And this is the 3rd Earth-like world I have actually found in my expedition this time around. And it looks magnificent. Well, let's have a look at it in the system map. There we go. There's Planet Ben, and as you can see, it's about 0.4 of the size of our Earth. It's got mainly nitrogen, oxygen, and argon in the atmosphere, and it's got 10% metal. So it's a very interesting planet. It's very cold though, at only 312k. So that's going to be below freezing, I believe. But it's still going to be habitable. But there are other planets we discovered. I mean, looking at this planet, what would you imagine this one to be? And its twin sister over in the distance. Now these planets are actually locked to each other, so they are orbiting one another. And they are virtually identical. But what would you imagine they are? Should we go and have a look? Here we go. We found a couple of interesting planets here. This one is a high metal content with a metallic core. So it is 32.9% metal. And these are actually terraformable water worlds. Now, this threw me for a little bit for a loop, because I was expecting the water worlds to be high metal content and the high metal content to be a water world just based on the colour of them. But it just goes to show that the universe doesn't always follow rhyme or reason. But this was a very interesting system, but let's go and find out what we have elsewhere. Now this looks like it'll be a G class. Oh, it's an F class star. And look at that. That is one of the best looking, well, in my opinion, that is the best looking of all the high metal content or metal rich planets I have ever seen. And I really like it. I do believe Obsidian Ant has called them lava worlds on his videos. What I'll do is I will, as always, I'll have a link to his videos in the video description and at the end of the videos. I will go and check out his most recent Exploring Elite Dangerous videos, because he is out doing exploring as well. And he sees a lot of things that I haven't. And although I was the first to find the Earth-like with a ring, I'm going to be really happy with that. But let's actually go and take a close look at this metal-rich world, which is 100% metal. Just look at the contrast between the deep lava pits and lava fields on this planet and the solid metal rock surfaces of the rest of the planet. I really do like how these planets look, and they are one of my favourites I've actually seen. But it's not the only thing in this system. We actually have two gas giants. We have this first one, which has one metal rich and one rocky ring. And the second one, which is not quite as interesting because it just has one rocky ring. So it's going to be some use to universal cartographics, although not that much, I can imagine. Now, this system, I think, is pretty much indicative of 8% of the systems I am jumping through on my way to the core. And like I said previously, they're there with single M-class stars and a number of dead planets. Now these, I just scan the star and then jump on away to the next system after I have actually partaken of some fuel from the corona of the lovely star. But one of you guys actually did challenge me to say something with a straight face, and I am actually going to go and try and do that right now. Overlord in Evil actually wants me to say, I, as leader of the Federal Expansion Expedition, hereby claim Planet Bill, Bob and Ben for the Federation. I've had a lot of practice at saying things with a straight face, so I think I'm fine. And look at this, we actually managed to find ourselves something really eye-catching. We've come across an A-class star. And this is so nice to see after so many M-class stars. And we have a few gas giants as well, with a kind of an interesting looking moon, although I can imagine it's not going to end up being that interesting in the end. So we'll go and we will scan these gas giants. So this one, well, it's got two metal rich rings. And the next one, let's go and have a look. This is a small planet that looks like it could be a high metal content, but it has a ring as well. So let's go and see what this one actually is. Yep, it's a high metal content planet. Let's have a look. Yep, it's a high metal content with one metal rich and one rocky ring. And then we have this last one here that looks interesting. The last one kind of looks interesting as well, but we'll have a look at that in a moment. So what was this one? This one, yeah, standard. One metal rich and one rocky ring. And then we have this one here, because that kind of looks interesting. It looks like, yep, it was a water world. with one rocky ring, and here it is in all its beauty. So yet again, it's one of those water worlds that kind of looks like it could be anything. And just look at the size of those rings. The only thing that would have made this size better was if they were icy rings. But they're not, but we're going to go have a look anyway. Because this is actually where I went and actually spent the night at this part of my journey. And this is what I awoke to the next day. That is an absolutely amazing view. Another couple of systems out, and what do we find? We send off a pulse and start scanning the star. So we've got one gas giant or Jovian and a couple of stars. But what are the distance on these? And it's very nice that the first one we find is actually a G yellow star. The distances aren't that amazing. They are 11,000 light seconds. There's one that's 23,000 light seconds. Well, I'm going to go and scan both of the... well, both the gas giant and both the stars. Well, at least two of the stars in the system. Actually, no, there is only 2 stars. For some reason, I thought there was 3. Yet another system on. And what do we find? This looks like another M-class star. So am I right? Let's go and see. Yep, it's another M-class star, but we have a couple of little... well, there's at least one here that looks very interesting to actually go and scan. So let's go and have a look at that after we refuel. And actually, let's not even bother refueling yet. Let's actually just go and scan it first, because we're not that low on fuel. And considering that we are coming across the vast majority of the stars being scoopable, so it's not a big issue. Yep, another high metal content planet with 30.4% metal with an argon-rich atmosphere. So that's kind of interesting. I actually didn't really know that planets could be having argon-rich atmospheres until this time I came out. Because I don't remember seeing any last time I was out, actually exploring. Now, this one does not look like an M-class. This looks like, yep, it's a K-class even. And we have 2 very interesting looking high metal content planets here. I'm actually kind of curious as to whether or not they're going to be terraformable or not, because they do look like they have atmospheres. So let's go and have a look. I'm pretty sure we can... yeah, we'll go and scoop here, and after that we'll actually go and have a look. So, am I right? Are these actually going to be terraformable? So let's have a look. So we scanned both of them. No, that one's not terraformable, but it is 32.6% metal, and that one is 32.6% metal as well. It's 1.1 Earth masses, and that's 2.05 Earth masses. So the first one is actually a good degree larger. And again, let's just go and take a closer look at these 2 planets. I really do like the orangey brown kind of look of these planets, and you can see the storms and the polar caps so well. And yet again, another system on. This looks like it could be an F-class star, or maybe even a G. Let's have a look in a minute. But as you can see, this looks like a very a highly ringed system. We've got a class Y brown dwarf with 2 rings. We've got a gas giant. We've got a couple more stars down the bottom, and a bunch of high metal content planets with rings. And we've got something here that could be very, very interesting. It looks like a high metal content world with an atmosphere. Well, let's see what this looks like after we've scanned it all. And yes, I was right, that was a high metal content world, and it has 2 metal rich rings, but it is also a candidate for terraforming. And it is 2.2 Earth masses, and it is actually fair good temperature, actually. So, it's a very ideal candidate for terraforming. Admittedly, the gravity is going to be twice that what it is, well, over twice that what it is here on the planet Earth. But we also have the brown dwarf with 1 metallic and 1 metal rich ring even. So that is absolutely awesome. We also have a metal rich ring on this high metal content. And another metal rich ring. So I'm pretty sure that all these rings here are actually going to be metal rich. Oh, I've got 2 metal rich. And that one is a rocky, but oh well. But what's this? And originally I actually thought this was going to be one of those dead systems again, but we've got one with a bunch of high metal content planets and what looks to be a water world. It's not very big, it's about half the size of the Earth, so that's interesting. We've got one here that is 1.5 times the Earth, but that looks like it's got an atmosphere on there, as does this one. So I'm curious to see if any of those are actually terraformable. I know that those 3 won't be, but we're going to go check these 3 as well after. And perhaps those 2 as well, we'll see. So, in the end, how did this actually turn out to be? We have a terrestrial water world, that's the one that's half the size of Earth. So it's got active water-based life, it's very cold. But this one is actually a candidate for terraforming, and it is a virtually ideal temperature as well. And what's this one? That's just a high metal content world. But anyway guys, I think that's about time to end this transmission. So I will leave you with some pictures of my trip. So again, I submit to the call of the void. And until next time, Commanders, keep flying and stay shiny.